Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd try something a bit different today. I want to do a reaction video to actual period dramas rather than just the trailers, and I thought I'd start with something called The Living and the Dead, which is a TV show that I've loved for so long. It came out in 2016 and I loved it. The only reason actually I started watching it is because someone I know, or who I knew at the time, was starring in it, and she'd mentioned that she was doing this TV show that was like a period drama, a bit gothic, a bit spooky, and I was like, oh, that's right up my street. So I started watching it and then quickly not forgot that she was in it, but like just got so engaged in the TV show itself. So that's where I thought I'd start off. The quality's not going to be the best because it's not the actual show. I'm also only going to be showing up to 10 minutes of footage legally. That's all we can do under kind of fair use and commentary. So if you want to watch the full show, if you want to watch the full series, I highly recommend you go and buy it. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on DVD. This is just going to be a little bit of like my reaction to it, all kind of chopped up. I am going to have a slightly longer version available on my Patreon if you fancy joining. But for now, let's get into it. So The Living and the Dead is a TV show about a couple who move to a rural area. They buy a farm, or do they inherit it? Let me read the back of the DVD case actually, because that's probably the easiest. It says, when Nathan Appleby, a pioneering psychologist, inherits Shepzoy House in a beautiful but isolated Somerset Valley, he decides to make a new life for himself and his adored wife Charlotte. Great name. But soon the idyll is compromised by strange and disturbing occurrences that all seem to inexplicably swirl around the increasingly troubled Nathan. Is he being haunted? Why? And by whom? The answers will shatter every belief this man has ever held and threaten everything and everyone he has ever loved. How amazing does that sound? It's got like a bit of everything that I love. It's got ghosts, it's got period drama. I think we're supposed to, I don't think it says the date. Maybe it does in the actual show, but I think you're supposed to believe it's like, you know, the late 1800s. So let's jump into it and we will react to this together as I watch it. And yeah, if you like this type of video, let me know, because I'll find a better way to make like all of the quality better. But for now, this is kind of what I'm doing as a bit of this tester video. So let's get into it, shall we? There we go, 1894. So like I said, late 1800s is what it's set in. I love the music immediately on this. I love the fact that it's like setting that kind of tone for, you know, it's dark, it's a bit eerie, it's a bit spooky, etc. It's just brilliant.
That shall he also reap.
It's just everything like immediately into the spookiness. We are 48 seconds in and already there's like a spirit hanging out outside. I think that's what you meant to believe anyway. Everything about this show is so lush. Like the setting there, the building, that the room that they're in, it's like it's supposed to be like a hothouse or a conservatory or something like that, but it's so opulent, like the plants, and it's like so beautiful fabric of her dress. There's the plants in the background, the stone of the building that they're in. Oh, it's just lovely. You can see why I love this show instantly as soon as I started watching it. Why does she have to lock her door? That's sinister, isn't it? I also look, what is it about an open flame candle? Like, I know that they were so dangerous back in the day. There are so many stories of like house fires having started because people have had open flame candles, but they're just so lovely. I find them just so romantic to have an open flame candle and to walk to bed with a candle. Jesus. I've forgotten there were jump scares in there. I am one of the jumpiest people in the world. I jump at anything. Anybody who knows me quite well knows that I would just jump at anything. I don't know why I love horror films so much, because they have jump scares. Generally, for the most part, I can see when they're going to come, but I'd forgotten this show had jump scares.
She has an alert and voracious mind, it must be fed.
She's a child.
That's interesting, isn't it? Like the late 1800s, I think attitudes towards female education was changing. Still that whole kind of attitude towards women shouldn't be reading books, this, that and the other. I love that kind of attitude. I love that it's the father in that situation who's actually advocating for her education rather than her mother. I didn't need that one either. Oh God. Why did I pick a period drama with jump scares?
Harriet?
Did you hear that laugh? That was so creepy. Oh, I remember loving this theme tune. I think it's just so great. It's such a good theme tune. But what an opener. Not even had the title track at this point, and we've set the tone that you can tell it's definitely a period drama. It's very kind of old world, but there's conversations around female position already in the first opening section of this about what it means to be a woman in this kind of era in the late 19th century, and then this kind of very kind of spooky undertone of Harriet, who is quite obviously seeing this male spirit, and he sounds like he's talking through her. Weird, but so good, so intriguing. Kerry Hayes is the person who told me that she was going to be in this show and that I should watch it. So I doubt very much that she watches my channel now. She's having a fantastic career as an actor. But yeah, that's her. She told me to watch it, so I'm very thankful. I also just want to state that if you see me with a Starbucks mug, this mug is about 20 years old and Tom has had it since... It's Tom's mug. It's the size of my head, that's why I've chosen it. But just so you know, I haven't bought it recently. I do not buy from Starbucks.
Can I move?
Oh, I love that transition from the photograph, from the old-timey photograph, into the actual shot itself. And if you go back, you actually see the corn at the beginning, at the very front of the photo, moves first. Oh, that's so clever. I love Charlotte Spencer. I think she's such a great actor. And I remember loving so many of her outfits in this show. And I think it's very much like, it is a period drama. It's set in 1894. They've told us that. But they do kind of play with costume a little bit in this, from what I can remember. Like this outfit here looks quite modern. It's quite a modern silhouette, you know, especially with having like her arms out.
Not now, we're late enough as it is.
People always fall in fields, don't they? They always run across fields and then they fall and their lover falls on top of them. And 9 times out of 10, especially in England, fields are for grazing. There's a lot of sheep poo on the floor in fields. And I often think that when they roll around all over the floor, like, you're not getting dirty. You're not getting like animal poo on you. I know it's supposed to all be about the drama and the romance, not about sheep poo. Look at that house. So there, it's named Shepsoy House, Somerset, for the show. I don't know that play. I know a lot of country houses off the top of my head. I do not recognise this one off the top of my head. It will be down somewhere in the southwest, and I'm not as familiar with country houses down that area, just because I don't get the opportunity to go down that way. That's Kerry. She did such a good job in this show.
I'm so proud of you, Nathan. You've achieved so much.
Sure, no.
They've made a really good job of making it actually look like a home, like in this particular setting here. Sometimes with period dramas, the actors look like they've been plonked down in a room, and you can tell, or there's a sense of it being more of like a museum type of space than an actual welcoming home. And I think because we see stately homes now through the lens of museums or as very kind of curated spaces, we forget sometimes that these spaces were still homes, and they were homelier, more comfortable, more lived in than what we see today. So it's nice to see a period drama where they've made an effort to make it actually look really lived in. And I love seeing a real fire in a fireplace. So it's lovely to see that kind of warm fire in the background of this shot. I love the symbolism here of the solstice as part of the narrative, kind of the underlying narrative setting the scene. Obviously, we've just had the solstice here. Our year, 2025, is now going to start waning towards Christmas. You know, the nights will become shorter, and all of the kind of symbolism that comes with that of, you know, leading towards the harvest and then everything dying and leading towards Christmas. I think there's a real beauty here in them setting it up on the solstice. As the events of this story start to unfold, it's that kind of underlying of the estate, the setting, the surrounding, the place is all slowly dying for the year. I just think that kind of symbolism is really, really beautiful. There's Harriet.
You better
I love the audio, this particular song. I just think it's so, you can tell that it's a choir, and you can tell that it's kind of like a folk type choir that are singing it, or a band. It's very organic, and it feels, you know, not every voice is perfectly in unison, and I love that because it gives it that kind of old-timey folk feel. Very in keeping with the fact that we are supposed to be in a small village in rural Somerset, you know. It's all just very evocative, and it's that gothic type of drama that is just perfect. It really makes a hair stand up on the back of your neck. Who's saying Nathan though? Nathan's outside. So who is shouting Nathan or whispering Nathan?
It won't keep.
Oh, so the son's dead as well. So Nathan, the main guy, his son is dead. And now his mother's dead. So I can see, I mean, the show's called The Living and the Dead. It's obviously going to be a lot about death and about dead people and spirits and this, that, and the other. But I'd forgotten that he had a dead son. It's been years. It's been literally years since I've seen this show. So in many ways, I'm kind of watching it brand new again with you guys. Yeah, but I love, again, this kind of thing of the women are preparing the body. The women are talking about the stories. I think this was a role that was traditionally done more by women to prepare the body, especially if it was a female relative that had passed away. That shot's beautiful. I was just thinking to myself, I love how much they're using like flame and fire within this, but also I love that shot of like Charlotte in the background watching on. It adds depth to the scene. It just makes for a really beautiful shot as well. Also, that's foreshadowing, isn't it? When you start a show or you start a film, and you know it's going to go somewhere pretty dark, when you start off with the main characters being optimistic and they're happy and they're like, everything's going to be great. There's just so much of foreshadowing of everything's about to change. This shot's beautiful as well. I love a period drama that uses animals. Yes, because live animals, especially on a farm, there would have been so many animals around. So I like it when they put animals in the shot because, again, it adds that life and depth to the scene. And again, what do I always say? They are filming on location. They've obviously hired a property to film this at rather than trying to create sets. It's kind of a hybrid because obviously they've made this into a set because they've then dressed it to make it look like the place, Shepsoi House. But I like it when they do sets on location. Oh, I see. They're using an engine, this newfangled technology, to plough the fields rather than using horses or oxen they would use. And they're trying, you know, it's all part of, you know, Victorian industrial revolution, modernity, that kind of fight between. It's very reminiscent of the Luddites and the mills, which if you don't know, go and research. But when they brought in machinery into the mills, the Luddites were a group of people who highly opposed that new technology being put into mills, and it's the same kind of concept here. She is you can see the farmers do not want this newfangled technology, and she's very much like, yes, it will revolutionise farming.
Carpe diem.
So he's going to continue working on his psychological business, and she's going to do the farm. Brilliant. I think that's great. Again, it's kind of subverting the gender roles. You know, traditionally women were in the house and men were on the farm, on the land. And in this show, they're subverting that. So he's inside the home. He's very much of hearth and home. And she's the one out on the land making the decisions, driving the men and kind of making everything work. I love that. Don't kill it, Harriet. Don't kill the duckling. Leave the ducks alone. What is she doing with that bird? Leave the baby ducklings alone. No! I love how they just show that scene, just her casually killing a baby duckling and then just walking off. The girl's weird.
Well, if we could convince the railway to bring a branch line across our lands.
Then that is what we shall do.
if we can convince the railway to bring a branch across our lands, that's so interesting for them to mention, because we don't see that very much. Actually, the UK, I believe we are crying out for a period drama about the development and the building of the railway across the UK, because we often think about, there's that show in America that shows the railways being built across America, and obviously because America's so big, it's like huge, you know, and it talks about everything that they went through, and the kind of trials. But in many ways, building railways across England was just as treacherous. And not only that, it was a proper job, and it was proper hard work, even though England is such a fraction of the size of America. And I just think it'd be really interesting. There were the navvies, the railway navvies, as they were known, which were groups of travelling men and women and families who would travel with the construction of the railway across the UK. I just think that'd be so interesting in terms of a period drama, to watch that kind of thing. And also, because so many of our Victorian railways have now been closed down, because they were closed in the 50s, I think it gives us an insight into the heritage and how important railways were during the Industrial Revolution, how they opened up travel across the country, not just for industry, but for people and individuals as well. And people had a lot of money to make selling their land to the railways so that they could put the railway line through the land and the business. And that's what they're saying here. You know, if they can sell off a portion of the land to the railways, then it'll sort all of their accounting problems out. And I've seen this in other estates that I've researched as well. So I'm glad that they've included that there. I like these little nods to history, even though they are kind of playing with this kind of genre and what's real and what's not real. They're kind of grounding it within this kind of historical context, which I really think is probably what gives the show quite a lot of its kind of historical authenticity, I think.
Or your work.
No.
Or your work. That's interesting, isn't it? Again, a woman with a career. I don't think we know at this point what her career was. Had they mentioned it? I might have missed it. But I love it. I love the fact that they're partners in this marriage and in this enterprise together. And I love that they're showing that. She's going to seduce him.
Is it true you used to take photographs of kings and queens, Matt? More debutantes and dogs, actually.
There we go. So her work was as a photographer. Same picture over and over again. Oh God, Harriet's at it again. What are you doing, Harriet, love? What are you doing in the pond?
Harriet?
The fact that she's quite happily kind of living with this spirit that seems to be controlling her or forcing her to do things is really sinister, really sinister. And now it's in the house. It's in Mr. Nathan's house as well, and Charlotte's house. Nathan and Charlotte's house, which is creepy.
Who took it?
The wife.
Was she developing a little bit of a crush on Mr. Nathan? Oh, we've all been there, being teenagers and having crushes on people that we really shouldn't have. Oh, bless her. I love these shots through the doors as well. It's a way to get a deeper shot again. Some of the background in, it kind of creates the kind of room atmosphere a little bit more than if it was just two headshots, a shot on him and a shot on her.
Since my time at Chatsworth, which is all my life, we mostly favoured travellers.
It's Gideon.
I love how much new technologies are included in this show. It's showing, it's not only placing the characters in the timeline, really cementing it within history, but it's so interesting, that kind of juxtaposition between the old and the new, the known and the unknown. Because people were suspicious of new technologies. They thought it was magic, they thought it was witchcraft, and they didn't understand it, and so they were scared of it. And I like the fact that they're using that as another kind of subplot to kind of reinforce these themes throughout the show, and it's just brilliant. Oh. Oh, it's his son. I mean, that is both a gift and a curse, isn't it? To be able to hear that voice again. Again, we kind of take recordings of our loved ones for granted now. We've got photographs, we've got voice recordings. Sometimes we've got, you know, answer phone messages or voice notes that they've sent. But back then, to have lost someone meant that they were gone forever. And then to be able to suddenly hear their voice, that must have been terrifying and so emotionally charged as well.
Except for the wenches.
That sounded like the man who's laughing in Harriet's room. I'm guessing this is going to be maybe the spirit that's haunting Harriet. Works she found on cylinders. Where did she find that? Where did she hear them? Who is Abel North? Oh, so he was a real person. Creepy.
His father was one of the Baptist preachers, travelling around Duncanville. He was, I don't know that.
Where is he now?
You know.
Okay, so he's dead. So therefore we know that if Harriet says she's speaking to him now, then he's a ghost. He's got to be, hasn't he?
In spiritualism, in mediums, in mesmerism.
It's interesting that he's bringing up spiritualism and mediums again. This whole thing with the Victorian period being really big in terms of like seances and contacting the dead, and mediumship and spiritualism and all that kind of thing had a huge boom during the Victorian period. And I think there was a big war, the Boer War or something like that, where quite a lot of people died. And we've seen this like post-Victorian period, you know, after World War One and after World War Two, there were huge resurgences and interest in spiritualism. It goes hand in hand with grief. When you've lost a loved one, you inevitably want to be able to contact them to see if they're okay. Like, you want to be reassured that they've gone somewhere, that they're happy and they're comfortable, etc. And so there was a big spike in it. But the Victorians in particular seem to really, really latch on to spiritualism. And it's interesting that he's a psychologist. Is, you know, we're used to skeptics now. We're used to people being like, I don't believe in ghosts. Like my husband, Tom, doesn't believe in spirits or anything like that. But this time, to be a psychologist and to say that they believe that people who can convene with spirits are, you know, unsound of mind or have some kind of clinical disorder, etc., was quite radical and revolutionary at the time. And psychology in and of itself was quite interesting. You know, we're not too far away. I don't believe they were still doing it at this time, but in the Victorian period, in like the mid-1800s, they were measuring the size of people's heads and believing that the size of somebody's head could have a direct correlation on whether they were evil or not. So it's interesting that we're getting this guy who is quite modern in his kind of thoughts and beliefs and interests and his career. But
She's frightened of her own sexuality.
what? Where does that come from? Oh, the good old Oedipal complex.
What exactly are you doing?
Something for us to look at when we're old and toothless.
It's a selfie. They're taking a selfie together on the bed. That's so cute. I love the fact that she's put the little bit of string between her toes so she can like operate the camera. But it's a selfie. It's a Victorian selfie. Oh, that is the worst thing ever when you are laid in bed at night and you hear a bang downstairs and you're like, shit, somebody's coming to rob us. It's a ghost. I mean, usually I'm like, A, someone's coming to rob us because that's like top fear. And then B, I'm like, it's a spirit. 100% it's a vengeful spirit. I'm guessing Mr. Nathan isn't going to think it's a vengeful spirit. He's probably thinking it's bloody Harriet come back again. It could well be Harriet. I can't remember what happens at this point. Oh, we've got a chest out moment. Spooky, there's nobody there. But there were lights in the room. Oh, has her steam engine broken down?
Who would do such a thing?
I will write.
Very Luddite, very Luddite. Somebody has smashed and sabotaged the machine so that they can't use it in the field. He saw a plane. He saw a plane trail, like not chemtrails, but the trails from the plane. He saw a plane. Ho, 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 ho.
Harriet, that's enough.
Please don't hurt me.
So she believes that she is being possessed by spirits, and as she kind of touches the stone, she can pick up that spirit. But he obviously believes that she is making it up, and because she's heard all these voices on the audio recorder, he believes that she's making it up and she's putting it on for attention. Interesting. She's definitely got herself a little crush. Bloody hell, Harriet. Have a day off, love. Oh. That music is beautiful. I'd forgotten about this music. I have not forgotten this scene though. So is Harriet causing all of this stuff to happen? That was Gwen, who's just broken the neck of a bird. John's about to do something stupid. Oh! Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, the blood seeping through the ground. That's evocative. Gosh, what a scene. What a scene. I mean, it's got so many layers to it of like the gothic horror, the fruit, I mean, the fact that it's an apple and she's a woman who is collapsing, you know, she's a virgin, is Harriet. There's so much kind of like biblical references here. You could probably study that scene so much and like pick through all the different layers, but it's really beautiful. And the music as well was just absolutely gorgeous. I'm sorry, right? Got an open casket. And yet, wasn't his entire face ploughed? I'm not quite sure how much of an open casket you could have if your whole head had been ploughed. Anyway, we're going to get something spooky happening again now. I hope so. Oh, it's gone very quiet again. This is a jump scare. Is that a drawing? Oh, someone's reaching out to grab him. Is it Harriet again? Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, she's been cutting us off. Oh, they're all coming back for another day. So even though what happened to John means that the farm hands are still turning up. It's a bit of a vanity scene, that really, to show that the farmers are starting to trust Charlotte and her running of the farm, because at the end of the day, all of their kind of wages would have been paid by Charlotte and by Nathan, so they couldn't really afford not to come back to work, because otherwise they would all have had no kind of form of income. So of course they'd have come back, but at the same time, like, I get it for the storyline. Yeah, she's gonna try and kill her, isn't she?
I would like your permission to hypnotise Harriet. Hypnotise?
Are you a doctor or a fair crowd term, Mr. Appleby?
Fair point.
Let everything else fade away.
Does this work? Does that work, like using a watch? I feel like it's such a common thing, like a common symbol of hypnotism, that it would be a watch and you would look at it and then you would be lulled into a hypnotic state. Does it work? Somebody let me know. I am actually really interested in hypnosis. I know that a lot of people go through hypnosis for therapy and therapeutical kind of treatments and stuff. I just find it fascinating. I'd love to do it at some point to understand myself better. It's just remarkable that we can get to that kind of hypnotic state in our own minds. And quite scary as well, because I do believe that we only use a certain portion of our brains, and the ability to have, like, if you think about what your brain is capable of, and there's so much that we don't understand, like we don't understand why we dream. We know that to a certain extent it is the processing of short-term memories to long-term memory, but we can't understand why we dream in the way that we do and how certain things happen in our dream. Like, we don't fully understand how it happens. Crazy, absolutely crazy, fascinating, but quite scary at the same time, like the potential. I like all the kind of ethical questions that are asked in this as well, like the ethical suggestions around the practice during the period. You know, is it ethical? Is it correct? Is it how things should work? Yeah, I love the fact that they're posing, you know, it whilst the show, each character within the show has their own belief systems and their own kind of position in this. It's quite interesting. The show overall is quite neutral, I would say, in kind of the way that it presents several different kind of belief systems, which is quite unusual in shows like this. Usually it's very much like one person's harsh belief system or one angle, and that's all you get. So it's quite interesting to see it in this.
What is happening there?
Your daughter's possessed, love. I hate to say it, but your daughter is possessed, and she's possessed by the spirit of an old man. And yeah, you've got a spooky bitch on your hands. What can I say? Oh God. I'm really not sure the Lord's Prayer is going to help here, love, but I appreciate what you're trying to do.
He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved.
Oh. He who is baptised should be... okay, I've got it. Abel North was trying to baptise himself in the pond to let his spirit then be absolved and so it could go to heaven. That's what I think is happening. She's a great actor. Whoever the actor is who's playing Harriet is brilliant. Really, really good.
Abel North was never baptized. Give in. Do it.
I called it. That was, did you see Abel North's face then? I saw his face. He saw Abel North's face as well. Huh, Daddy?
Father.
She's back. So that shits on Mr. Nathan's whole psychology angle, doesn't it? Properly shits on it. How are you going to psychologize this, Mr. Nathan? What's he doing? What's he doing? Why is he singing a different song? Could you imagine if you were just at somebody's funeral and she just started like bashing out an Ariana Grande song or something? Read the room, Nathan. I guess because he's a farmer, they're singing a song that he would have known as a farmer, like a folk song for farming and stuff. I like that. It's nice. It's just a bit like, pick your moment, John. Not John, pick your moment, Nathan. Like, he could have said that at the beginning. Could have been like, I think we should sing this instead of a hymn. Oh, the light's back. The light's back. It's not a yellow light either, is it? It's not a light from a candle, isn't that? And it's like they've used fire and they've used firelight and the orange glow from light so much in this show that, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why they've done it, so that it's so obvious then when a different type of light comes into the shot. It's a woman with an iPad. Ooh, interesting. Right. Let's leave that there. That was the first episode of The Living and the Dead. What did you think? Did you like this reaction? Did you like me reacting to this? If you want to see the whole series, like I say, it's available on Amazon. You can go and have a look. It is brilliant. And I love the fact that in the show, they do blur this whole kind of like question of spirits, not time travel, but like the blending of different timelines and things, which I think is quite a topical conversation. A lot of people believe in that now. So yeah, really, really interesting. Did you like this video? Like I said, the quality and stuff needs a little bit of work, but if you liked it, let me know and I will do another one. Again, if you want the longer version of this, you can find it on my Patreon. And yeah, I will be back next week with another video. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know what you thought of the show. And if there's anything in particular that you want me to react to, let me know and I will pop it into my schedule to do another one. Okay, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.